Ruby on Rails has powered thousands of applications around the world. A free framework, adopted by startups as well as web giants like GitHub, it changed the way software is developed. But behind this success lies an essential question. Have we finally found the ideal model for funding open source? Rails was not born in a research lab or within a big tech company. It is the result of the work of Basecamp, formerly known as 37 Signals. The story begins with Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson, two entrepreneurs with a radically different style from Silicon Valley. While most were chasing fundraising rounds and growth at all costs, they advocated frugality, independence, and a craftsman-like approach to software. Their belief was simple: it is better to have a small, profitable company than a giant dependent on investors. When they launched Basecamp, their project management software, they adopted a clear and transparent subscription model. No ads, no temporary free tier to trap users, just a useful product, charged at a fair price. This choice gave them rare stability and allowed them to escape the pressure of investors who often impose short-term decisions. This financial independence lies at the heart of their strategy. By keeping control of their revenues, they kept control of their decisions. It was in this context that Ruby on Rails was born. David, who had to build the first version of Basecamp, created the framework to speed up his work. Rails wasn't a marketing plan, but an internal tool born from a real need. When they decided to share it with the world, they opened an immense door. Suddenly, the code that powered their product became the foundation of thousands of others. Rails spread like wildfire, giving rise to a whole ecosystem, and placing Basecamp at the center of the global tech scene without them spending a single dollar on advertising. This choice was not an isolated one. The same philosophy can be found in more recent projects like Omarchy, their Linux distribution. Once again, it wasn't open source for show or an attempt to chase grants. Omarchy was born because they needed it for their own servers. By sharing it, they extended the same logic. What serves them internally can also serve others. Rails and Omarchy embody a consistent entrepreneurial approach, where paid products fund innovation, and open source is the natural consequence of their way of working. This model creates a virtuous circle. Products fund research and development. Tools created to meet internal needs are published as open source, which attracts talent, strengthens their reputation, and feeds their technical ecosystem. And all of this indirectly reinforces their paid products. Unlike many players, they don't try to directly monetize open source. Their logic is reversed. The product funds open source, and open source, in return, strengthens the product. This strategy perfectly matches their artisanal vision of software. Jason and David like to remind people that they prefer a small, tight-knit team that works well without burning out, over an army of stressed developers. They have written several books, including Rework and It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work, where they defend a simple idea: work must be sustainable, growth is not an end in itself, and a company doesn't need to be huge to be successful. Rails and Omarchy are therefore not just software, they are concrete extensions of this philosophy. As a maintainer of critical open source projects like OpenStack, this story resonates strongly with my own experience. It shows that there is indeed a possible path to sustainably fund free software without relying on precarious donations or surrendering to the open core model that stifles innovation. Basecamp proves that a company can be profitable, independent, and contribute massively to open source simply by building products that customers genuinely want to pay for. I've even prepared a detailed plan of Basecamp's strategy, with a step-by-step analysis of how they organize this cross-financing between paid products and open source. This plan is available on my Patreon, and if you'd like to learn how to apply some of these principles to your own projects, I invite you to join me there. The link is in the description. In the end, Ruby on Rails and Omarchy are not just pieces of software. They embody a different vision of technology and entrepreneurship, one of open source that does not depend on charity, but on the strength of a clear and consistent business model. The lesson to take from this story is simple but essential. If you want your open source projects to live long, don't focus only on funding them directly. Take inspiration from Basecamp and think in terms of ecosystem. Build a product people are willing to pay for, use that stability to invest in useful tools, and release them when they can benefit others. This model is not universal, but it proves there is a credible alternative to fragile donations and the compromises of open core. Open source can be sustainable when supported by strong products, and not the other way around. A good open source project is not measured only by its number of users or its funding. First and foremost, it is a project that fuels the passion of those who create it. Because that passion is the true fuel of open source. It is what drives people to write code late at night, fix invisible bugs, document, share, and explain. Without it, the business model is just an empty shell. With it, and with solid funding to support it, a project can last decades and transform an entire ecosystem. My goal with this channel is simple: to show that creating free software doesn't have to mean sacrifice or commercial failure. You can stay true to your values and still build something stable, useful, and financially viable. But more than that, my mission is to put the end user at the center. Because great software starts with people. I believe free software should offer not only freedom, but also the best possible experience, with real value for those who use it. If that speaks to you, you're in the right place. This channel is filled with videos where I explore and compare open source business models, their strengths, their limits, and how they fit different principles. You'll find practical insights to help you choose the model that works for you and your users. I also share real-world tools, lessons I've learned, and approaches that have helped me. And above all, I want to help you build a free software project that lasts, one that respects your values, serves your users, and supports your life. Subscribe and check out the other videos. There's a lot more to explore, and if any of this resonates with you, tell me your story in the comments. I read them all.